So we hear doom and gloom a lot lately. The economy is tanking out. Inflation is at a 40-year high. You go to the gas pumps and the price for gas is outrageous. You go to the grocery store and prices are almost double on some things. It is costing a lot more right now to make ends meet. In the last year, my gas bill has doubled, my electricity bill has gone up, and we are just being hit at every angle financially in America and around the world. And there's a lot of people on YouTube, on the news, on social media, just has this doom and gloom attitude, like the sky is falling and we're getting into a recession and things are just going downhill really fast. And today I want to talk to you guys about what you can do to help yourself in this situation, because 78% of Americans already were living paycheck to paycheck before this thing started, and I'm sure it's similar across the world. There's probably people in worse situations. So I want to talk to you about what you can do during this time to help yourself and your family to make sure that you take care of the things that you need to financially, and so make sure that you don't send yourself down the tube into the tank. My name is John McFall, and I want to welcome you to the McFallRI channel, where I teach you how to make $25 to $30 an hour doing food delivery, and I also teach you how to make semi-passive income. I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube. I don't really watch the news anymore because it's nothing but negativity. I've been reading some things online, and it's just really a bad situation right now with the economy. And I saw a video yesterday where President Biden was at the Port of Los Angeles, and he gave this big speech about how all the prices that are high at the gas pumps are all because of Putin and his war, and everybody's just playing the blame game in this whole situation, and none of it really matters. The situation is where we are right now in the world, and what can you do to help yourself make sure that you stay afloat? So I want to talk to you about 3 things that you can do today to make sure that you're taking care of your bills, and that you're keeping your checking accounts positive, and you're not running your credit up to make ends meet, and really how you can take care of your family during this tough time. Because I'm going to tell you that even though it is really bad right now, just like the stock market going down and up and down and up, it always returns to the mean. And what that means is everything normalizes and gets back to a norm, and it might be a little bit different than it was before the bad time, whether we're in a recession or it's just high cost and high inflation, whatever you want to call it. Everything will return back to some kind of normal. So the first thing I want to tell you to do in this situation, if you do not use a budget for your expenses and your income, I'm going to highly suggest that you start using a budget. So a budget is basically where you lay out your income and your expenses. You know what your monthly income is going to potentially be and what you have coming in, and you also know what your expenses are that are going out every month. I'm starting by telling you to create a budget, and this will help you lay out the roadmap for your month. You know when your bills are due, you know when the income comes in that you're making. And if you plot it out in a budget, it will help you make sure that you're paying everything on time and you're taking care of all your obligations that you have to, so nothing gets behind. One of the problems that people run into when they don't have a budget is they just kind of willy-nilly make the money and throw it out back to their expenses, and if they don't have a budget, then something can get missed and something can get behind because they don't pay attention to it consistently by looking at it every month on a budget so that they can make sure the bills get paid. If you do this, you're going to end up having, charges, overdraft charges on your checking account. You're going to have late fees for some of your expenses. You're going to have, late fees for your credit cards if you don't pay them on time. So the best way that you can make sure that you don't miss any of your payments when they are due is to lay it out in a budget. This will also let you know overall where you are. If you lay out a budget and it shows that your income isn't meeting your expenses, then this will give you a key indicator of what you need to do, whether it be reduce your expenses or increase your income to meet those obligations. I highly recommend that you start using a budget, and I'm going to put one down here in the description with this video that you can grab that will help you get started. That's a spreadsheet that I use to make sure that I keep track of all my income and expenses. If you're not that tech savvy and you don't want to use something like Excel to keep a budget or a program to keep a budget, you can even go to the dollar store or Walmart and you can get an actual paper calendar, and you can write out on that calendar when your bills are coming out and when the income is coming in, so that you can keep track of your income and expenses. So this is a really good idea if you don't have one and you're not using one, so that you can start actually taking control of your finances. The second thing I'm going to suggest you do is when it comes to your actual bills. When is the last time you actually combed through all of your expenses that you have going out every month and seeing where you can actually trim the fat? I've done a couple of videos where I talked about, I went through my Sprint bill and I went through it line by line by line, and I took a look at the charges that were coming out on that bill. And by the end of it, I reduced my cell phone bill with Sprint by $85 a month simply by getting rid of the crap that was on there that I didn't use and I didn't need to go ahead and take those off so that I wasn't being charged for them. These companies today, especially the bigger companies, when it comes to things like cell phones and when it comes to things like cable and internet, they will tap on these little charges onto your bill that you don't really pay attention to, and it's extra money that you are spending with these companies that you don't need to, and if you take them off, it's going to save you a bunch of money. Another thing that we deal with in today's society is with all the apps that we use on our phones and on our iPads and on our computers. Go through and see what your actual charges are that are coming out for things like Apple, and if it's not something that you use or something that you need, then stop that service and get rid of it so that you are not paying that extra amount every month. Also, take a look at your bills and see what you don't need anymore. I used Netflix for a couple of years, and when I got Netflix, I was paying, $15 a month for it, and I was getting on it a lot, watching all the videos that they had on Netflix, and over time, I just stopped using it. I would literally get on Netflix about twice a month, and that was it, and I finally realized that it's not something that I really needed, so I got rid of it. So make sure you're taking a look at all of your expenses after you plot it out on your budget and see what you don't need anymore and see where you can reduce those expenses so that you can make sure that you're not paying for things that you are not using. The third and the final thing that I want to talk to you about is your actual income streams. If you are working and you have a W-2 and you're doing side hustles, or you're doing the gigs full time and you're making all of your money with these gigs, and that's what your income is, I'm going to suggest that you really take a look at other things that you can do to diversify your income and have multiple income income streams coming in. I do YouTube. I make YouTube videos and I make money on YouTube from my videos. I also have a W-2 job that I work every day, 9 to 5 and Monday through Friday. I also have food delivery. I go out and do food delivery in the evenings and on the weekends. I also make money from Amazon. I have a book published on Amazon that I make money from. I'm looking into other ways of making other income to come in so that I can make sure that I diversify my income. So if one of my income streams takes a hit, I don't lose all of my income. So I'm going to really suggest go into my semi-passive income playlist and look at all the different ways I talk about there to make side income and find some other things that you can do to start bringing income in from other areas. Many of you know that I have been doing, working a full-time job and doing food delivery because all the income that is coming in from my family is reliant on me because my wife is waiting to get her green card. She just got the approval for her green card, so she's getting ready to start working and get a job. And this means that we've diversified our income even further. So with our situation, I've got YouTube, I've got Amazon, I've got my W-2, she's going to have her W-2, and we got the food delivery apps that we can use to bring income into our home. So make sure that you are taking a look at multiple ways to make money and don't solely rely on one. Don't put all of your eggs in one basket. So if you take a hit, whether you can't do food delivery anymore, or maybe you lose a W-2 job or something like that, that you're not losing all the income that you have coming in. So if you do these 3 different things that I talk about, you can ride out this negative economy that we're in right now and these high prices that we're dealing with until we get through it to the other end and things start to get back to normal. They will get back to normal over time. It might take a while before that happens, but you can make sure that you prepare yourself during this situation to make sure you stay on top of things and you stay afloat while we're dealing with this negative situation. So I hope that I helped you out a lot. One thing I want to mention is I do have a lot of great tools in my video description that you can use to help yourself out. And the one I want to talk about today is Stash. Stash is a great place for you to start putting money away. If you do not have any money set aside for your future, you should really start doing that. If you do the budget, if you reduce your expenses and you increase and diversify your income, you can afford to put $5 a month into Stash so you can start building a little bit of a nest egg. You can also increase it over time as we get out of this bad economy, and you can start saving some money for your future. It only takes $5 to get into Stash, and then you can put as little as $5 a month. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but every little bit helps. So go grab a Stash account with the link down here in my description. I do want to say I get a commission if you use my link, but Stash is a great place for you to go put a little bit of money away that's going to give you a better return on your investment than a typical bank account. Would also like to ask you to like this video and to subscribe to my channel. Finally, I want to leave you with, I hope that you are out there getting the money that you and your family deserve. And with that, I want to say thanks.